Hello and welcome back to Jack Knives Reviews. I'm of course your host, Jack Knives. Today we'll be looking at the medical hit drama, The Pitt.
No, not even close.
In the ER of Pittsburgh Trauma Center, Dr. Rabinovich, or Dr. Robbie for short, is the head physician trying to help his patients as much as possible, facing horrible incidents, injuries, and trauma that not only rocks him but everyone else in the pit. As each hour passes, the problems keep growing. I'm not normally one to really talk about or really even watch a lot of medical procedural dramas. I remember occasionally picking an episode of ER, or the only time I was ever invested in an actual medical series was House, but that was more to do with just the intrigue of the crazy diseases and obviously Hugh Laurie just being hilarious. But I never really got into the actual aspects of the medical part. I would read and watch enough stuff about medicine and see things where I wasn't necessarily squeamish or anything, but it was kind of more of just like, then you get those people who are obsessed with medical dramas that get invested in the 200 millionth season of Grey's Anatomy. That's way out of my scope. I'll leave it to someone far more invested than me. But the reason I wanted to talk about The Pitt specifically is because it's not just a medical procedural. All medical procedurals have a format. Established doctors introduce patients, patient has a thing, doctor either fixes or fails at fixing thing, doctor's fine, and then there's hijinks between the other doctors. Rinse, repeat. But with The Pitt, it truly is raw. If I were to describe this series as anything, it truly is traumatic. This doesn't feel like any normal medical show. This feels like, no, the trauma is the star. The things you see in the show, the practical effects, the craziness, the grossness, the weirdness, the disgusting stuff that a lot of medical professionals, especially in ERs, which is where this is set in, will actually see every day. In fact, I think I've seen a lot of doctors who have talked about different medical procedurals all say the same thing. Anytime an ER is shown, it is way too clean. It is way too, simple to do that because it's a TV show. If you actually showed what an ER is like, which I have been to the ER before on a few occasions with people, yeah, it's chaos. It's pure chaos. There's a reason it's called an emergency room. It's hard to portray that on television, especially in an engaging way. But The Pitt basically is the equivalent of grabbing you by the head and forcing you to hang on. It becomes a lot. This is not a show I would ever recommend for people who have PTSD or for anyone who thinks, I'm just going to marathon a show. No, you cannot marathon The Pitt. Why? Because you will have some of the most messed up things you will see over here, and then another episode you'll have something also messed up over here, or something weird over here, or you'll relate to something over here. But carrying that sort of a story, normally that would just be the focus. It's just the trauma. But this kind of a show, it's not just obviously only the trauma. There is a lot of acting. But what I love about it is it doesn't feel like anyone is a character. No one is a caricature of anything. They feel like raw, real, honest people that you could see working at an ER, that you could see interacting with each other. The heart and soul of the show is Dr. Robbie, played by Noah Weil. And honestly, I wasn't really familiar with any of his work. And I think that's kind of the best thing about it, is because if it was like a familiar actor, like say a George Clooney for ER, a Hugh Laurie for House, actors who have established themselves into other roles, you won't be as invested. But because Noah Weil, not saying he's not a known actor, but he's an actor's actor. And he feels like a genuinely, truly honest, kind, caring person who's just done. Like he just hates that he has to face all of this, but he knows that he's the only one who can. And that's kind of what these things that nurses and doctors go through in ERs see all the time. Now, I'm not going to say there isn't some slightly fun moments, but they're the chewing gum pauses in between the scenes, which those are the moments that kind of feel the most valid. And you get to learn a little bit more about each person. You don't learn everything, which is kind of the point. You're not supposed to know everything about every doctor. If you did, then it feels less genuine, because who truly knows their doctor? And that's kind of part of it. But then you see people interact with certain characters and certain people, and you really do get invested because you're like, hey, it feels like we're all just kind of getting to know each other. We're all just in this hellhole together. And we figure it out. That's why, despite the anger upstairs, the reason they call it the Pit is not only a play on Pittsburgh, but it feels like you're stuck in a pit and you just gotta wait it out till your shift's over. The whole series of the first season and even the second season take place within the span of 24 hours and the chaos that can ensue within 24 hours. What makes it more impressive is that it feels also like it's multiple days and yet it's one day. And I know the filming was taking a long time, but I've never seen a show quite like The Pit in the best possible way. I particularly love Catherine Lanessa, who plays the head nurse Dana. I love her so much. She is truly a no-nonsense, sassy older lady who she has been through the shit. And she's just like, look, folks, we're stuck here for X amount of hours. Let's just try to be civil. Let's figure this out. But they're not like cartoon. She's not cartoonish. She's just like, stuff happens and, you got to just roll with it. And she's like, ugh. We all can relate to that kind of a character. There's not a single main key actor in this show that I was not impressed by. It had 3 separate actresses in the show's cast who are significant main characters, who are all daughters of established actors. That is not an easy feat to do, to stand out not only in the shadow of your parents, but to actually kind of do stuff that they really wouldn't be able to. You have Taylor Dearden, daughter of Bryan Cranston. You have Isabella Bernoy, daughter of John Bernoy. And you have the badass Fiona Dourif, daughter of Brad Dourif, who killed it in the Chucky series. There are things in the show that touch on so much heavy stuff, from murder to shootings, panic to trauma. Everything under the sun is touched on in the show. It's currently in the middle of its second season while filming this, but I can tell you right now, this is a show that will impact you. It is not for everyone at all. In fact, if you're easily squeamish, if you're easily triggered, and if you're easily disturbed by graphic content, I do not recommend the show. Maybe watch some clips online first. But the one thing that this show did, and still continues to do, which is a thing that most medical shows fail to do, is it truly shows the respect and care for the medical professionals, doctors, nurses, everyone who's hospital staff, as well as patients, showing the respect to patients that go through these horrible, terrible things. And it's a respect thing that a lot of these sort of shows do not properly do. They see these people as just victims. This show focuses on the humanity of what it means to go to doctors in your most vulnerable states. And for that, I have nothing but appreciation for it. I want to give it a chance. It's truly a remarkable, although, again, extremely graphic and traumatic and heavy show. But for all of that, I do think it is an amazing show. I give The Pit 5 out of 5. Have you seen The Pit? Let me know in the comments down below. Lately, I've been reviewing a lot more heavier stuff and dramas, and I kind of just want to do something lighter next. I think I know what I'm going to do. Till next time.